Merck Forest, located at the top of Rupert Mountain, was the place to be for amateur, and maybe not so amateur, naturalists and biologists on the weekend of September 12th and 13th for their annual BioBlitz. That's where those whose curiosity about what lurks in the trees, bushes, ponds, and other locations across the nearly 3,200-acre nature preserve gets them out and armed with nets to capture and document those insects, lizards, or other species before releasing them back into their world. They do that through taking a photo of their findings and uploading it to an online app known as iNaturalist, which allows others to check the picture and verify what kind of species they may have found. Nathan Sharp and Madison Alderman were two who came to search and document their discoveries.
So this is a species of dragonfly called a darner. I'm pretty sure it's a variable darner. You can tell because of those 4 little spots on the side there. Most of the other dragonflies of this size have stripes. And it was just cruising around the pond over here. And it's one of the really, really beautiful species of dragonflies that we have around here. Pretty closely related to the one Tim was just talking about that was the first record for this area. These are just really, really brightly colored dragonflies. Some of the largest you get around here. There's a couple more cruising around this pond, so I'm going to see what else I can get in the net.
What happens next?
So I'm going to take a couple photos of this guy, one from the back here, and then one from the side to show all the different features that are needed for ID. And then I'm going to put those up on iNaturalist where someone else can confirm that it is the species that I think it is, or let me know if I'm wrong. And yeah, this could very well be another record. This is probably a new record of the species for Merck Forest. It could very well be another new record for the county.
So where'd you find this one?
Just flying over there.
Oh, so I think this one's a meadowhawk. So there are these little red dragonflies that are often out and about until as late as October or November. I think this one might be an autumn meadowhawk based on I think the color of the legs and also generally what season it is, but there's a couple other similar species. Yeah, you'll see these guys bouncing over fields and meadows for the next few months.
So where'd you find it? Over in the bushes there or somewhere?
Yep, in the bushes. I was looking for frogs and he was just kind of floating around my head. So. Gotcha. Hi, Rodeo. Oh, you a big one. Eastern newt. That's a big one. Look at that tail. Oh, wow.
This is the second year Merck Forest has held a BioBlitz, and Tim Duclos, Merck Forest's conservation manager, explained how it worked.
Yeah, essentially it's as simple as just taking a photo of a live, non-captive organism and capturing where it was found, where it was seen, the date and time, and then just sharing that online through iNaturalist. You yourself, you don't even have to identify what it is. Somebody else can see your photos and your notes, and then they can tell you what you found. So it's useful for people who are interested in kind of learning what is here to be found before they arrive. And it's also useful for us in doing ecological monitoring and you know, over time, your observations, you can identify what hasn't been seen in a while and may be lost, and in which case we can search it back out, or that might be telling us a story about how the population is faring. It also tells a story as to, like, you know, just the overall level of biodiversity on the property, and in theory, the more biodiversity you have, the more healthy your ecosystem is. So just the pure fact of finding as much as possible really tells a story of how rich the ecosystem is here. Beyond that, the data, like many citizen science data platforms like eBird, for example, it's downloadable and usable by scientists for monitoring the changes in distribution of species across the region, changes in the phenology or the timing of different life events. So, for example, you know, if you captured photos of a particular plant, the the information on the date and the time in which you found those plants flowering tells a story. You know, you can look over time at changes in flowering as the climate changes, for example. This year we used observations from last year to design a study of bees and bee communities across the property. We looked at spring ephemerals and documentation of what was seen last spring to kind of inform our study efforts. So there's a lot of use for what we're gathering here.
But you don't have to wait for the BioBlitz weekend to scratch your inner naturalist. You can go up to Merck Forest, or anywhere for that matter, and snag a member of the wildlife kingdom, as long as it cooperates with you long enough to let you take its picture and post it to the iNaturalist app. Who knows? Maybe you'll find something that no one thought was supposed to be there. It's happened at Merck Forest. For the GNAT-TV News Project, I'm Andrew McKeever.